a quick addendum to that is not only are people unable to study, but I've been a Christian for 20 years and I've been in and out of churches, and except for one that ended up being a cult, I have not seen any church teach how to study the Word. Not one has had a class that shows you how to use a Strong's Concordance or even tells you what it is. I've not heard a single sermon or anything encouraging people that they can understand truth. And yet they're told they need to read their Bible. You need to read your Bible, you need to read your Bible. Well, that doesn't help you if you're not going to understand it. And not only that, but when you read it, everything you see contradicts what the pastor's been teaching. And it's not because the pastor knows something you don't. It's because he's willing to say whatever. You know, he's making it up. And the other thing is, I've walked in on a meeting where I'm in the midst of a church that's re-examining their hermeneutic after being a Church of Christ for a really long time, and that's actually a very healthy thing, because there's a lot of toxic stuff in the Church of Christ, and they're coming out of it. Well, however, when I went in this meeting, I wanted to be, it made me almost sick, because the elders were saying, okay, so when it comes to how we understand the Bible, most of everybody in church reads it on a devotional level, and that's fine. You can take personal devotional from it and be edified, and that's how the Lord is helping you. But that doesn't answer some of these bigger questions that we in the leadership have to address. So for that reason, we really have to study it and really seek the meaning. And they went on, but that made me want to throw up, because I thought, the reason that they only read it at a devotional level is because you have not equipped them. You're not equipping the saints. And number two, why are you answering questions that are not answered for the normal believer when they read the Word? Maybe that just shows you that you've gotten off into the weeds and you're in topics that really the Bible doesn't address. And they're talking about how do we organize the church and have our programs and everything. Well, we need to really study that out and everything. And I'm like, no, you really need to drop all that and come back to Christ and the church and minister Christ. And I'm not saying anything about them. Actually, that God is leading them through a process. But what I saw was, like, if that idea is allowed to persist, then you end up with a priesthood. And it's an authoritarian thing where now everybody is required to just obey because they can't understand. And it's because I said so, and because I'm the elder, and because I'm the pastor, and because you got to follow me or else you're in rebellion. That's all you got if you establish this gap between the leadership and the congregation. And our pattern in the Bible for New Testament leadership is that the elder is an elder brother who's just a little ahead of you in the Lord and shows some capacity to take care of people. It's not that he's some sophisticated Jedi master of theology, that it should not be that complex, that there would be this huge gap between what a pastor studies and what the sheep study. The pastor's supposed to be a sheep eating the same food. We're all supposed to be eating the same food, and he's just supposed to be able to be a little better at using his napkin and his chopsticks to help you and show you how to get the food yourself in a cleaner way. So that's part of the thing that kind of bothers me.